because as soon as I seen what was going on right here when you're reacting with the front brake, and then it even showed more why that's an issue because it locked it up, caused loss of momentum, and you fell right over.
What did I do?
So what I'm getting at is when we do the slow man, slow woman race, the more advanced thing is once you get past clutch control is that brake drag, because when you pull the clutch in, right, and there's no power to the rear wheel, the bike wants to spin. I'm sorry, freewheel, right? It's just like pushing the clutch in on a truck going down a hill, goes faster. Well, what we want to do is also learn how to utilize brake control. So a lot of times I'll have them utilize a little bit of front brake control, meaning right before lockup, just some drag. There's no drag. You go for it and stab at it.
Is that what I did?
Yeah, and that's what you were doing all the way to here,
Oh.
even.
Okay.
Okay, so be conscious that, okay, if you want to start playing with the front brake as you pull the clutch in, yes, but it's more of a drag.
Okay.
The other thing is a little more consistent throttle. It's going to help with all that. All right, so for you, if you want to start incorporating a front brake in, it's fine, but understand it's just a little bit of drag.
You said I did that twice.
Yeah. Well, remember what I said back to the house too? Because this is my next question for you. Are you still two fingers? Try one. I know that's going to be a hurdle, but what I said at the house is a lot of times when people try two, they have a natural reaction right away to stab at it. Okay, it's just too much power. You don't need but just one because it's just regulating pressure.
Okay. I'll try.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it too much to try? I know she's trying that, but is it too much to just go right to standing now? What do you think?
No, it's fine.
Can't be any worse. That's how I look at it.
No, but the way I look at it is everything's always, you're always going forward.
Yeah.
Yep. It just takes time. It takes a lot. Just start right into it, okay? You're on. Get it rolling and stand right up. Just drop the pointer finger and leave the middle. You know it's gonna feel awkward. All right, now don't forget your counterbalance. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, me hollering at you.
No.
So for now that you're standing, the counterbalance still comes into play. Okay? Just one thing, right, to add, and I know it sounds, we talk about adding stuff and it makes it more difficult, but something to think about. When you're in terms of counterbalance, right, like goes normally to the opposite, and I'm talking about hips, shoulders, and all that, right? Now just think about it. A lot of times, the bike goes one way. Have you ever noticed just because the bike's gone that way, a lot of times we're putting pressure on the foot peg on that side.
Yeah, I caught myself doing that.
And that makes it worse. So with the counterbalance, you also start having to think about your feet, meaning pressure. You've got to change pressure. You know what I'm saying? So if you're maintaining that, and then a lot of times that just totally works against you. So a lot of times you should be conscious of feet. So that being said, in a sense, we're taking the other thing away, but just giving one lesson to think about. Just be conscious of the foot pressure. Start into it, work the foot pegs back and forth. Still maintain the balance, rather than just being stiff and waiting for something to happen. Okay? Follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Are we okay?
Proactive on that.
All right.
So basically be proactive on it.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes. You're controlling the bike more by working it yourself, counterbalancing it yourself, rather than being stiff, rigid, and then waiting for something to happen.
I'm being stiff and rigid.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a tiny little bit, come along. It's not easy.
No, I know.
And its first thing is just breaking bad habits and then, progressing from there. Then, the more you add, the tougher it gets because it's not just one thing. You got like how many controls? All these controls, eat, they're thinking about dinner later. No, I'm kidding.
I'm thinking about air conditioning. The only thing in my head is
I always think
get me
about
through
food.
this for air conditioning.
I'm always thinking about food.
Beer, that's what I'm 4 o'clock beer.
Alright, so conscious, you're starting into it, throttle rev, clutch, don't think as much about the counterbalance as much as I just want you to focus on working the foot pegs back and forth yourself, voluntarily. One more time up and back and then progress. Slow down a little more with brake drag. There you go. Yep. Progress a little bit, but I also have showed you how to practice it as well. Continue with it. But think, okay, so let's say this. We learned how to balance doing the slow woman race. But where do we use this in the trick? I mean, everywhere that you need to slow down to that point where you're pulling the clutch in, not too far, right? Maintaining that balance as far as foot pressure, if it's a tight situation around some trees, through some rocks, whichever. just to teach yourself that maintaining balance, counterbalance, clutch control. What?
I see how I will have problems in tight sections. This is nothing around, and it's so difficult.
Just
know?
balance-wise.
Yeah. So I can see how when I have to slow way down, I get myself thrown out of balance really easily.
Now, and you're allowed to disagree. I want to know because it helps me help you more. But did you see any difference when you did one finger? Because I see you're already back at two because that's your natural habit.
I just now when I came back, I was 2 and I said, oh wait, 1, try 1.
But was it better, or you're just telling yourself it's bad?
Well, to be honest with you, when you told me before that I pulled in the front brake, and that's why I didn't even know I pulled the front brake. I had no idea.
That's fine.
So when I was telling you before, like I don't know when I use it really, I clearly don't because I had no idea that I even used the front brake.
No, it's fine. When I started doing schools, to teach people, like, I don't know what I do. You have to think about, okay, what do I naturally do? But yes, you were just like, but when you did, it was like a stab at it. Even up here, it was a stab at it. And then when you do that, lost some momentum and it lost the balance right with it. The last time going back was better, but it was more like just coasting along, you know, just trying to balance it. And that's why I said slow it down a little bit more with the front brake drag, and that would cause you to have to utilize more clutch.
Yep.
But it comes. What about, and I didn't really stress this at all, we talked about it earlier, as far as just where you're looking. Did you ever mess with that? Because a couple times I've seen you like this and then you break back up.
Yeah.
Did you notice a difference or no?
Yeah, it's better when you look up.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You look up how much easier it's bounce.
I was, yeah, like you said, thinking about so many things.
Yeah.
And then a few times I was like, wait, further.
Well, yeah, anytime I started to lose the front end, get wobbly, I'd look right back down. I don't know why, it doesn't matter. Looking at the front end doesn't fix anything. But once you got to that like spot right there, when you're letting the clutch out, that's when I'd notice I'd look down and then I'd be like, oh wait, I have to look back up.
And hips, as far as just that still needs more work. But that's something, and playing with foot pressure coupled with that. It's only like 16 things.
I know. Gosh.
How aren't we masters yet?
Yeah. Now for the next little deal, I wanted to change it up and play around with a little drill just to help with some brake control. But it's also that hill that you had just a little bit difficulty with because there's some rain ruts there. So I'm not really comfortable with this whole situation.
That's alright, I've taken falling to an art form.
I think we can still utilize that.